Hello and welcome back to another Facebook Live Tip Tuesday. This is episode 6, and before we get started, I'm going to take a swig of my drink. This time it is not a pina colada, just some flavored water. So everyone, I've got a list of things that I want to go over with you. The very first one is a repeat kind of on green hair and what to do about it. 2 episodes ago I talked about where green hair comes from. If a blonde person swims in a pool and gets green hair, where that comes from. This week, since many people asked, well, now that you got it, how do you get rid of it? I'm going to answer that. So green hair comes from copper in the pool. Once you get copper in the pool and a blonde-haired child or a blonde-haired person swims in the pool, that copper then gets into their hair. I obviously don't have that problem. The hair will turn green. So how do you get rid of it? First get them out of the pool, rinse their hair out, and then you're going to want to get tomato paste out of a can. Tomato paste. I know that sounds weird, but it is the acidity in the tomato paste, and since it is a paste form, it will actually stick in their hair. So put them in the shower, wash their hair in tomato paste, let it sit there for a little while, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, rinse it out, and then wash their hair normally with whatever shampoo, conditioner products that you use. But now we still have the problem of we have got copper in the pool. So the next time that child gets in the pool, their hair will turn green again. So let's get that copper out of there. There is a product called CuLator, and I'm going to link it on the YouTube description, but you can also find it on Amazon, your local pool stores. C-U-Lator is the product name. And what that does is it pulls all of the metals out of the water, so you won't have the green hair problem. It's a common misconception that chlorine is what causes the hair to turn green. That's not true. Chlorine would actually bleach it out and make it turn whiter if that was the case. So do that, and if the problem still keeps happening, try this. Rinse the person's hair out, get it nice and sopping wet before you go swimming. See if those helps. If you have any other tips on that, leave them in the comment section below. This next one is going to save you a lot of money. Oh, and the last one, the last thing is actually not a tip, but since many people expressed that they like whenever I gave some quotes, I'm going to I've got one for you that I handpicked out. So this one is going to save a lot of people a lot of money. So if you do not like spending a ton of money, this tip right here, tip number 2, is going to keep a lot of money in your freaking wallet. So get a pen and piece of paper and write this down. For those of you who close your pool, make sure that when you close your pool, the temperature of the water, not the air temperature, don't give a rip what the air temperature is, the temperature of the water is below 55. Now that could mean that the air temperature when you close your pool is around freezing. Again, doesn't matter, it's the water temperature, not the air temperature. And it doesn't matter what chemicals that you put in. If you do not do this, you're wasting money on chemicals, okay? And when you open it, very important, make sure that the water temperature is below 55. So when you close it and when you open it, make sure that the water temperature is below 55 degrees. Now, what happens a lot of times, and I'm going to ramble a little bit, so just bear with me. A lot of people, they're busy with their everyday life and they forget that they have a pool in their backyard until it's hot, and they're like, oh, I'm ready to go swimming. Well, guess what? You pull the cover off and you have a swamp and people are ticked off that they're spending $500, $600, $700 getting their pool right again. Well, it's kind of your fault because you neglected your pool. So when the water is 55 below, you can close it and open it. Also, throughout the winter, peel the cover bag, pour a little bit of chlorine bleach in there, a little bit of liquid in there, just to kind of get it going. Not a bunch. You don't want to damage anything. Just like a little bit every so often throughout the winter months. The best thing to make sure that you're not spending a ton of money getting your pool clear is not to let it go green in the first place. If you have waited till now to open your pool, well, open your wallets. Sorry, it's kind of the way it is. So that tip is going to save you a bunch of money. This next tip is also designed to save you a bunch of money. This is the money saving episode of Tip Tuesday, and that is to run your pump more. I've literally come on to customers' properties and they're running their pool for 4 hours a day on a standard single speed pump, running it for just 4 hours a day. That just doesn't work. Even if the pool is crystal clear, it's probably like that because you have a horrible imbalance in your chemistry. That's probably not safe to swim in. So if you're only circulating the water for 4 hours a day, why is that bad? Well, you have stagnant water the rest of the time. That stagnant water that mosquitoes can land on and breed on. That stagnant water that isn't moving, that life forms can cultivate in, and you just don't want that. So run your pool more often. If you have a variable speed pump, that is the best. You run that 24/7. If you have a single speed pump, you need to run that pump so that you get at least 2 turnovers every day. And a turnover is the equivalent of your entire gallonage of water in your pool going through the filter. DHEC says 6, so if you don't have many swimmers in your pool, you can do like 2 or 3. So if you have a 20,000 gallon pool, you want 20,000 gallons of your 20,000 gallons worth of water going through your filter twice per day. Most people need to have their pump running for 18 hours a day to do that, because residential pools aren't typically built as like commercial pools are. So that's going to save you a ton of money there. Number 4, I ran into this just recently. I was on a commercial job site and we opened up the commercial DE filter just to look at it, and it had no DE on the grids. And I've also run into this on customers' properties where I was going there to clean their filter for them. I opened up their filter, there was no DE on the filter. They typically call us out because their filter is getting very high with pressure. They're running 25, 30 PSI, and they're like wondering why. For those of you who have cartridge filters or sand filters, just kind of hang with me. I'm going to get to the other two. But for those who have DE filters, charge your filter. What that means is when you do a backwash, add DE back into your filter. I have a video on Aquanut Academy's YouTube channel where a lot of you are watching this on how to backwash and recharge a DE filter. So go check that out. Reasons why. Here's a couple reasons why it will not filter as well, because those grids is just a cloth. It's not designed to be a filter, and because of that, it's going to gum up faster and build up that pressure faster. Also, since there's no DE, hold on a second. When you do these things live, you have to take a drink every now and then. Since there's no DE, actually on the grids, you run the risk of damaging the grids. Not only because there is pressure building up on the grids, but because there's nothing to protect them if a piece of debris comes flying through the pump and gets shot into the grids. Tip number 5, 28 days. Yep, I said that right. These are people who have plaster pools. If you have a brand new plaster job, say you just got your pool built, or you had your pool replastered, once that water gets to the full line, it is 28 days to swim. You can argue with me all you want. Your builder can argue with me all you want. And it's your pool. I tell people this all the time. It's your pool. It's your money. Do whatever you want with it. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you don't like the truth, you do with your pool whatever you want. The National Plaster Council says it is a 28-day period before you can add salt, before you can swim. During that 28-day period, there are things that you have to do, mainly adding calcium. You want to get your calcium level up really quick, and through that 28 days, your plaster is going to be doing something called milking. So it's going to kind of milk off that top layer, which raises the pH of the pool. So you have to constantly add acid to get that pH back down and get that water chemistry in check. I have heard of cases where people fill their pool and they start walking on the brand new plaster and they get feet print on the plaster. They've ruined it because it hasn't had time to cure yet. And it's all about curing. That 28 days, there is a process of it curing. Now, I've given you all the info on why you need to wait 28 days, but it's your pool. You do you, boo-boo. It's your money. Spend it however you want. And with that being said, I am going to leave you with a quote. The only person you are designated to become is the person that you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Hope this helped. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Give me a thumbs up. Leave more tips in the comment section, or if you want, you can DM me the tips. I do use those. I've got probably 5 or 6 more episodes of Tip Tuesday to do, just based on the tips that I have already gotten from you guys and from my personal experience. Anybody that has commented live, I'm sorry, this week I cannot see it, so I will get to those next week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you later.